In today's video, I want to highlight 12 brand new PlayStation 4 game trailers that you guys have to check out. Now, before I get into the video, I do want to mention that 7 of these trailers are coming from the China Joy conference. So we got 7 new PS4 exclusive announcements. We did a video going in depth on all of those games, so if you do want to check that video out, feel free to do so. And I know a lot of you guys have already watched that video, so we'll cover all of those games at the end of this video. First up, we've got 5 other trailers to go over and some very exciting games, so let's get right into this. First up, this week came the announcement of the Judgement Western release date. That'll be happening June 25th, but on top of that, we've got a brand new trailer, and this trailer is in full English. It's the features trailer showcasing a lot of the game's, well, features, and right away you'll notice that comparatively speaking to the Yakuza franchise, technically, this game is on another level. Legitimately looks like a game that was made for the PlayStation 4 ground up, and well, that's because it was made for the PS4. Judgement could honestly be one of the surprise hits of the year. I'm very happy that it's coming out in June because that's a time period where generally there aren't a lot of big games being released, so all eyes can really be on this game. We'll see how the June month really plays out, but considering that's also the E3 month, there's just going to be heightened emotions when it comes to gaming, and I think Judgement is a game that can take the gaming world by storm, and this one, again, having English voiceovers, I think that's going to help out a lot as well. I'm not a big fan of the game that the digital copies of the game release 4 days before the physical, but hey, that's a minor complaint, and I'm sure the game will turn out to be really, really good. Moving on from that, we haven't heard from CD Projekt Red in quite a while regarding Cyberpunk 2077, and while this week didn't bring with it brand new footage of the game, we did get a very inside look on the game. Cyberpunk 2077, the Creating Cyberpunk official PlayStation inside look. Being narrated by Geralt himself, PlayStation went behind the scenes with CD Projekt Red to bring you a look at their ambitious upcoming project Cyberpunk 2077. They went over a lot of the decision making. You see a lot of the footage that we've already seen be run through, but if you're excited for the game and you want to get an insight into how development of this game is going, I think this is a very worthwhile inside look on the game. It's about 5 minutes long, so it is a reasonable inside look at the game. We do know that Cyberpunk 2077 will be present at E3. I'm sure we're going to get new gameplay at E3. However, for now, if you just want to get an inside look on how the game is coming along, the decision-making process, things like that, I felt the PlayStation inside look was very eye-opening in terms of what this game is going for, so I would recommend you guys to give that a look for yourself. Moving on from that, here's something that I'm very excited for. We got the announcement trailer for the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. I love the Phoenix Wright games back on the Nintendo DS, and now the games are being brought over to the PlayStation 4. You've got revamped visuals, although this is a story-driven game, a lot of dialogue. It's not like it's a technically impressive game. You got a lot of character portraits and things like that, nothing to write home about. However, the storytelling in these games are tremendous, and if you're a fan of story-driven games like a Danganronpa, another franchise that I've recommended oh so many times, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy is going to be a great buy, and you get 3 games in this collection, and best of all, Capcom has been doing really, really well, and once again, they deliver on the price point. Unlike a lot of publishers, I point to a Warner Brothers where they remaster games and then they release it at a full $60. The Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy, it's 3 games, and it'll be coming at a budget $29.99 price point, so that is fantastic. It offers the games at a very accessible price point. The Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy will be out on April 9th, so not much longer to wait, actually a month from today. Moving on from that, a game that'll be releasing very, very soon in just a week is Tom Clancy's The Division 2. I can't believe that we're already coming up on the release of the game, just seems like yesterday when this game was announced, but we also got to check out the Division 2 official launch trailer this week. Of course, the Division 2 is getting quite a bit of anticipation right now, and considering that Anthem was a little bit of a fumble, I think a lot of gamers are going to look towards a quality multiplayer experience to get invested into. I think that's actually going to help out the Division 2 a lot. I didn't want Anthem to not be a success, but hey, that game isn't being received all too well, and gamers might look towards another multiplayer game, insert the Division 2. I think that could really fit the bill. We've been playing the beta, and that offered some fun, but let's see how the final game turns out. It looks like this is an experience that Ubisoft will once again be very, very committed to, and the game will be out on March 15th. If you do pre-order the Gold Edition, you'll be getting 3-day early access. That's another thing I'm not a big fan of. Judgement is doing it. If you buy the digital copy, you get 4 days of early access. Well, with the Division 2, if you pay extra money, you'll get 3 days of early access. Just not a big fan of that, but hey, it is what it is. The official launch trailer set the table for the game, and again, it'll be out very, very soon, March 15th. And also, I did want to give a shout out to the Beat Cop console launch trailer. This is a game that I've been talking about a little bit, and we got a 1-minute launch trailer for the game. Beat Cop is a game that was already released on PC, I believe, last year, and was received rather well over there. And the game itself has a really cool old school look to it, as you can see by the trailer. It's a retro pixel art style adventure in New York inspired by 80s cop shows. You are Jack Kelly, and you've been framed for murder. Now, as a regular beat cop, you have to find out who did it. Expect a thick crime story, a lot of black humor, and all the other things you can find on the streets of Brooklyn. Beat-Cop is without a doubt a game that's gonna go a little bit under the radar. It's available for $14.99, probably one you'll want to wait on a sale for, but when it is available for, say, south of $5, definitely pick it up then. Alright, so those are all of the new trailers outside of the trailers that are coming from the China Joy Conference. I'm gonna go through these trailers rather quickly because, again, we went over these games in depth in a previous video. We'll leave links to everything in the description box down below, so if you do want to check out the trailers one by one, check the description box. However, to quickly go through the titles, we had the announcement of the action RPG AI Limit. AI Limit is described as a hardcore action RPG in a rich world of exploration and thrilling battle experience. It's seeing a lot of comparisons to Nier Automata and the Souls game, so those are very positive comparison points. What I've seen thus far, I'm very impressed, and this is one of the standouts from the China Joy titles. What I've seen thus far has me very impressed, and this has been one of the standout titles coming from China, so we'll see how it pans out. We've also got a brand new online game in Convallaria that's been announced, and unlike other shooting titles, Convallaria tries to show players different emotional clutters, real-life experiencing, as well as the stronger and more smooth battle plays. It's an online-oriented game, so with a game like this, I'm always gonna be a little bit more skeptical. We haven't seen major Chinese-based online games come to the PlayStation 4, but we'll see how this one turns out. From the gameplay we've seen thus far, it looks relatively interesting. Speaking of which, we've got a cold weapon survival game, Ran Lost Islands. Technically speaking, this is one of the more impressive games that you are gonna see come out of China. The studio behind it is fully developing a large-scale multiplayer online competitive game based on their new IP, Ran Lost Islands. The development studio chose the 17th century, which is the era where this world civilization began to merge and the big voyage began. The studio hopes to create a cold weapon game that can be accepted by the worldwide player base. Again, a game that technically is very impressive. I have a little bit of skepticism, but hopefully it turns out well. We also have another very interesting game, the third-person hack and stealth game Evotinction. Evotinction is coming from Spikewave Games, which is composed of former 2K China staff, so that's an interesting note as well. And Evotinction is a third-person stealth game featuring unique hacking mechanics. The developers share an enormous passion for the stealth genre and wish to provide a complex and dynamic stealth experience. It touts a variety of hacking skills, environment devices, and gadgets that provide a rich, emergent gameplay. We're not seeing a lot of quality stealth titles these days, so hopefully Evotinction can help fill that void. Next up, another game that looks really cool, ANNO Mutantionem. ANNO Mutantionem is set up in a near-future metropolis after a catastrophe. Moreover, they've introduced the famous open-source work series SCP Foundation into the world of ANNO Mutantionem. They're mixing creative ideas from authors all over the world, and after the release of the concept video of ANNO Mutantionem, the game has an awesome art style, a refreshing combat experience, and rich exploration. Another title to absolutely keep your eyes on. Next up, for all of you horror fans, we've got a new horror adventure game in Nightmare. Nightmare is one of those games that's very early on in development. Nightmare is actually the working title, and the intention of designing this game is to inspire people's interest with philosophy and knowledge. This game doesn't look to be technically groundbreaking in any sense, however, it does have a very eerie presentation style, so for horror buffs, this is definitely going to be one to be on the lookout for. And I'll keep you guys posted about it, but the trailer does set a pretty nice table for the game. Another title that's pretty early along is the Dieselpunk Metroidvania title in F.I.S.T. F.I.S.T is one of those games that really took my attention coming out of China, and it's the second game from the studio TI Games, and it's a Metroidvania game where you'll play as a rabbit who can manipulate a big mech arm on his back. You explore a vivid Dieselpunk world and fight against the evil robot army. Yes, in terms of premise, this is one of the most unique games that you're gonna come across, and in that sense, I'm already very excited. A rat with a mech arm on his back, when you ever see something like that out of a game. F.I.S.T is also a working title. Again, another title that's very early on in development, but just based on premise, based on the gameplay we've seen thus far, another one to keep your eyes on. So that's gonna conclude this video. Again, as far as new trailers go, this is a more packed week than most weeks because we did get 7 new PS4 exclusive announcements coming out of China. But on top of that, some other cool trailers, including the Judgement features trailer, the Cyberpunk Insight trailer, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. That trilogy is gonna be great. The Division 2's official launch trailer, and the Beat-Cop console launch trailer. Links to everything will be in the description box down below, so check them out one by one if any of them pique your interest. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.